Oh, kia ora e hoa. Haere mai, come and join me. I've got a fantastic book for us. The Tails of Tangleby Gardens. And have a look at the front cover. These are the characters inside the book. And this is an example of some of the food inside the book. It's written by Sue Heazlewood and illustrated by Jane Smith. And it's a gorgeous book that's all about the stories of these creatures here. And Sue has put some wonderful recipes in the book. She loves cooking. She loves gardening. She loves kids. She's got 6 of her own. And she's combined all those loves into this lovely book. Are you nice and comfy, ready for a story? We won't have it all because it's a very long story, but we will have some. You ready? Well, let's begin. Chapter 1. Montgomery and Marmalade were newly married rabbits. They lived together in a cosy warren close to the city of Christchurch, New Zealand. Here's their warren here. It's a little tunnel built in underneath this old tree. Aren't the pictures beautiful? Not long after they moved into their new home, a motorway was built nearby. It was very noisy, with cars and trucks zooming along it all day and all night. They decided that soon they would move to another home to have the life they both dreamt of. It was Montgomery's birthday, and Marmalade had organised a surprise party. She'd invited his grandparents, parents, brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles, and all of his cousins, and she was so excited she'd hardly had any sleep. The moment the morning sun started beaming into the warren, Marmalade sprung out of bed, being careful not to wake Montgomery. She hung green balloons and streamers all around the front of the house, then took her blue and white rug outside, placing it carefully on the grass. From the kitchen she fetched plate after plate of party food. There was fairy bread, fruit skewers, muffins, and a big tub of homemade strawberry ice cream. Yum! Hidden behind the wardrobe was a beautifully wrapped present for Montgomery. Marmalade lifted it onto the end of the bed. "It's time to wake up, Montgomery," she said. "Happy birthday!" And she kissed him on the cheek. Montgomery beamed at Marmalade as he began opening his present. "Oh my goodness, a bowler hat! I've always wanted one ever since I was a little chap. Thank you so much," he said, trying it on. "You look very handsome and sophisticated," said Marmalade, with a chuckle. As Montgomery was getting dressed, there was a faint noise outside, the sound of voices, coming closer and closer. He went to the front of the rabbit warren to see what was going on, and saw a mass of rabbits, his family. They were happily jumping and skipping along the dirt path, carrying gifts and singing, "Happy birthday to you." Montgomery looked very surprised. He hadn't guessed there was to be a surprise party. He hugged his family one after the other as they piled presents into his arms. Then Montgomery noticed his cousin, Wilson. He disliked him immensely because he was dishonest and horrible to his family. "What are you doing here, Wilson?" said Montgomery in a gruff voice. "I'm here to wish you a happy birthday, my dear cousin," said Wilson. "You better not cause any trouble, Wilson, or I'll have to ask you to leave," said Montgomery. Wilson smirked. Montgomery was worried. He didn't trust Wilson at all. Everyone gathered around the rug and started feasting on the beautiful party food. Marmalade filled everyone's glass with Nutella milkshake from a big glass jug. Nutella milkshake. Have you tried that before? As everyone chatted excitedly, catching up on all the news, there was a thunderous noise in the distance. Montgomery hopped up onto a fallen tree branch and saw a terrifying sight. "There's a huge digger coming towards us," he cried. "We will have to leave straight away. Grab the trolley," he said to Marmalade, "so we can take as many of our things with us as we can." Some of the rabbits began scurrying away, while the older family members raced into the rabbit warren and began loading as much as they could onto the bright green trolley. Soon, clothes, pots and pans, and other precious belongings were all stacked high. Oh no! The bigger rabbits pulled the trolley with all their strength out of the path of the yellow digger. Marmalade cried as it was towed towards the side of the paddock. Now they needed to cross another paddock, but beyond that, the only way out was across the new motorway. Montgomery looked on in horror as the yellow digger drove straight over their home, smashing everything left inside. Marmalade was speechless, standing there with her mouth wide open. Wilson had grabbed as many birthday presents as he could and was running off in a different direction. "I think my terrible cousin has just stolen my birthday presents," Montgomery said to Marmalade, his voice quivering. "He surely wouldn't do that," said Marmalade, tears rolling down her face. "Oh, he most certainly would. He's stolen from the family before," said Montgomery. "Never mind, Montgomery. We need to pull ourselves together and safely get over this busy motorway so we can find a new home," said Marmalade, wiping the tears from her eyes. Once they reached the motorway, everyone said their goodbyes, wishing Montgomery and Marmalade the best of luck with their search for a new home. "Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for helping," said a happier-looking Marmalade, waving to the rabbits as they hopped off home. Montgomery and Marmalade had to wait for quite some time for a break in the traffic so they could race across the 6 lanes to the other side. "We need to run very swiftly, Marmalade," said Montgomery, "and to pull the trolley as hard and as fast as we can. Ready? Now!" With a huge scurry, the 2 rabbits made it across to the other side of the motorway and both let out a large sigh of relief. "Whew! Me too! What an adventure! Whoa!" Carrying on, they had soon left the city behind. The sun was beating down, making the journey very tiring. "I think it's time to find a shady spot for a late lunch," said Montgomery. Sweat was dripping down his brow and his round glasses were fogging up. They found a weeping willow tree beside a creek and sat down, dangling their tired feet in the cool water. "Isn't this just lovely?" said Marmalade, a look of contentment on her face. "The only sound is the water babbling over the stones." She took the blue and white checkered picnic rug out of the trolley and spread it out on the lush green grass. Montgomery lifted out the cane picnic basket in which he'd managed to save some of the party food. And that's where we'll stop the story, because we've reached the first of the recipes. Do you remember I read about the Nutella milkshake? There's a recipe for that there. The strawberry ice cream that they had at their picnic, and fairy bread. And look at this photograph. This is Tangleby Gardens. And these are the items of food mentioned in the story. Here's Montgomery and Marmalade and the Nutella milkshake. And right through the book, the story continues, and there are lots of pages with recipes and photographs of all the food. I think it's food that Sue might have made for her whānau, her family. Isn't it a gorgeous book? And what an exciting start to the story. How scary for Montgomery and Marmalade. Hey, if you'd like to find out more about this book and where you can get a copy, you can visit tangleby.co.nz. And Sue even has a kids club page there with lots of recipes and activities and things to do. I'll put a link to that in the description below. I wonder, maybe we could have some more of this book another time. But let's definitely have another story soon. I always love it when you come to visit. Ka kite, my friend. Come and visit me again soon.